Hello fellow YouTubers, Bear Prepper here. Today we're going to take a tour of the backyard garden. So let's see what we've got going. We still got plenty of lemons on our lemon tree. They did really good. And there's the pomegranate tree blooming beautifully. Look at this bloom. Just gorgeous. So we might actually see a pomegranate this year. And then the fig tree. They pretty much look the same, but it's still alive, so that makes me happy. Some more of the onions I just pulled up. That is the last of them. I'm just waiting for them to dry a little bit with the seed heads, and I'll bag them with the rest of the seed heads. Then it's time to pull the seeds out. Every time I go to the retreat, I come home, and either at the retreat or at home, there's something bad happened. Well, we filled this up before we left. It was just about ready to, I was going to start clipping to make jelly. And apparently in 3 days, they all died. And it had a gallon of water. So, back to square one. It is what it is. Successes, failures. We'll get there though. This is my volunteer tomato. It is actually 5 foot tall. And curving downward. So now what I thought was interesting is this one, these were both volunteers. This one has a lot of foliage, but a lot of buds, you know, flowers. Whereas this one is not much foliage, but it has been producing for me. I pulled some off, you'll see them when we go inside. Now let me tell you about my patty pan squash. The leaves started dying. And I was like, wow, why are my leaves dying? Because this thing was gorgeous. And I cut one of the leaves off, and guess what I found? Worms. So, I actually went psycho on the plant. I started digging a knife in every leaf, every stem I could smush, and started killing worms. And then I got madder and madder, and I started cutting all the stems off. This whole thing was just about bald. All the way here. And I did that before I went to the retreat last week. And when I came home, there was an 8-inch patty pan squash on it. And it was coming back to life. I'm thinking the plant thought it was dying. So it put all its energy into producing that seed. I'll show you inside what I got out of it. But it looks like I put the DE on it, and it looks like this bad boy is happy once again. Another one. I love these things. They're gorgeous. They taste really mild and good, and I can't wait till I get a bigger harvest. So that's what we have there. Just harvested the basil, and someone thought these were marigolds. I do remember planting marigolds somewhere out here. I just don't remember where I planted them, so I'm going to let these grow and see what they come up to be. And then I have my Greek oregano. Harvested some of that today because it's going crazy. And I must have a green thumb for seeds because all my plants are going to seed really well. We're going to keep this sage. And there's my Mexican oregano. It's flowering. And we're going to pull this one out and plant it down at the retreat. I got some parsley, not doing so hot. My chives, I gotta wait till it dries up out here a little bit. And I got this little bin out because one of my neighbors, I was gonna give him some dill. But my dill has gone to seed. Wonderful, that's what I wanted. So as soon as it dries out, a little bit today, I'm going to chop it off. And then get all the seeds out. This is the other volunteer tomato. Not doing so hot. I'm sure it'll pick up. And then my new breed for this year. It's got a few tomatoes on it, but nothing spectacular. More dill that I pulled out of the canal back there. And as you can see, my daughter saved my dill. They came by mowing, and she went out there running and swinging her arms and said, "Don't chop down my mama's dill." So they didn't. That was real nice of them. My broccoli is going to seed as I wish. If you look, you can see the little seed pods on them. Isn't that beautiful? Got a lot more cabbage. Pulled my big one out. Got another one there that's probably, these two are probably getting close to finished. Asparagus, starting to flower and go to seed. I'm going to try to grow asparagus from my seed this year. Carrots, well, they finally started. If you look, there's a stalk coming up. So we're about to have seeds. And here we go. There is my first carrot flower. Folks, just plant them this year, and next year you'll have seeds. But don't expect them come spring. It takes a little longer. These are finally starting to grow. I'm trying to fill in this side. Still got some room here. I'm going to wait probably another couple weeks, and then I'll plant some more over on this side. Inside, I just chopped off a bunch of broccoli. You can see the wasps are having a field day in there. And I've got a couple Brussels sprouts from in there. My beans, we've got regular green beans. They're doing wonderful, and it looks beautiful. Just love the look of the beans climbing up. I'm going to do some canning today. And then back here, we have our turtle beans. See if we can get a shot of them. They're doing really good. Whoops. There, let's see if we can try that again. There we go. They're doing really good. And soon they should be dry. But we'll get there. They're all over back here. So that's wonderful to see. So I think all in all, even with the failures, the garden is doing really well. I'm very pleased. Over here, we have the lettuce that's going to seed. So that I have all these varieties, because these are different than the ones I did last year. So I want to make sure I have all the varieties since they're all heirloom. And then one good point, back here, my chocolate mint is thriving. So I should be able to, if nothing else, get this to make some jelly. Got to come back here and hand weed a little more. But at least I've still got some. And it's all back here. Perfect place for it. It stays wet all the time because we're mostly hot. So that's the garden update. Again, had some losses, had some successes. So don't give up. You'll get there. Now let's go inside and see the harvest. Okay, so this is the harvest I got today. But let me first start by saying thank you to Pet Prepper, Prepper Chickie, and Alan 2045. I have never successfully been able to dehydrate potatoes. They all turned black. So they had a session with me on Skype and showed me how to dehydrate my potatoes. I used the real thin skin, small ones, so that I didn't have to peel them. And looky, they're not black. So thank you very much, guys and people. I'll put their links below. Don't forget to check out their channels. They were a wonderful help for me. Alright, so this is the last of the lettuce harvest. I went ahead and pulled up all the lettuce except for the one that is seeding, and you saw that out there. And then this is the green beans I harvested today. I harvested the same amount 3 days ago. So I'm going to be canning green beans today. This is just some more harvest of my Greek oregano. And then I got a couple of broccoli and some Brussels sprouts. Some more red onions. That's the last of them out there. Some tomatoes and another patty pan. This is the seeds I got from that 8-inch patty pan when it thought it was dying. So there are a couple that look like they're plantable, so I think I'm going to go ahead and try to plant them. And when I say plantable, if you look at how they dried, Most of them are hollow looking. But every now and then you see one with a bump in it. I believe those are the only ones that are plantable, because they actually got to the point where they formed the seed inside. So I'm going to try to plant them and see what happens, because I like that patty pan squash. And as you saw, it is coming back to life, but this is really good squash. Excuse my dirty nails, I've been out there digging in the garden. And then this is my cabbage plant. It started to get sunburn, and the leaves weren't big enough to go over it, my little holy plant. So I'm just going to tear off the top part, and the rest of it should be fine underneath. But it's a good size head. So that's my harvest for today. And keep those gardens going, folks. Even if you only get a little bit the first year, the next year you're going to get a little more, and the year after that a little more. Blessings.